Greetings, this is another Sprocket video and today I'm going to show you some truly extraordinary designs. Now, depending on how long you've been following me, you may have seen one or all four of these tanks, but since I know most of you have not watched my videos back in the Hungarian times, you will see some truly magnificent creations. So, our first subject has been featured on my channel multiple times actually, and it is the AGS 103-2. So it's my second ever light tank design, and if you've been on my channel, you probably know this upcoming sentence. It originates from Scrap Mechanic. Who would have guessed? Actually, most of my tanks in Sprocket are just reimaginations of previous tank designs I made in other games, and yeah, obviously this is no exception. And here is the last time I featured it, and you know, it didn't change all that much, but I have a kind of a weird logic. I want to update a certain design, so I just remake it completely. Yeah, that's a lot of extra work, but I mean, this thing looks kinda cool. It has a 105mm gun, the same that you might have seen on the AGS 105-8-2. And you see that this is just an engine deck. Where is the driver then? There is no driver hatch here. To answer that question, let me ask you another one. Why do you think this thing has two cupolas? Yeah, the driver is in the turret, which is not that weird, all things considered. It's been done before in real life, multiple times actually. So yes, this is basically a very Soviet-style light tank, although you might argue that it is more of a tank destroyer, and I say it's a multi-purpose vehicle. Let's just say that it's a multi-purpose vehicle, although its primary role is intended to be a light tank. Now, this thing has a 610 horsepower engine and it weighs 19 tons. So as you might expect, this thing accelerates rapidly, although I kept the speed limit at around 65 kilometers per hour. That's able to be pushed up to who knows how much, but I think 65 is plenty, and it has a rapid not turret traverse, although it does have turret traverse as well, rapid hull traverse. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. And I mean, the firepower is perfectly adequate. It has let me check, 233 millimeters of penetration, and overall it's a very flat tank. I mean, it's basically a pancake tank, you know, like one of those Soviet medium tanks. I forgot the name of. Yes, this thing. So yes, overall this is just a light tank. Its heaviest armor is unsurprisingly at the front, and it's just 35. The sides are 20 and the rear, who am I kidding, who even cares? And as per usual for quite a lot of my designs, and for a lot of the upcoming designs you will see in future videos, it has a double coaxial machine gun. So yes, this is the AGS 103-2. There's not much I can say about it. It's just a regular flat light tank with a weird crew layout. Nothing more, nothing less. Alright, the next three tanks in this video have a common theme, and you might or might not have been around in my early days of YouTube when I made crossout videos. Yeah, I made crossout videos in Hungarian back in the days, and I once decided that I want to make some of my crossout creations in Sprocket too. All three of these have been featured on the channel at some point or another, but I decided to rework them quite a bit, and our first subject is the HGS 105-11 Cherubim, named after biblically accurate angels because of its funky feature, it quote-unquote having 4 faces. So let's see the armor profile first, because this is an interwar heavy tank. 75 on the front, everywhere, even here, except in this area where you can see the vision slit. Onto this side, the superstructure is also 75mm thick. The side itself is 50 plus 35 because of the side skirt, which takes up basically all of the space, so effectively the sides are 75 here and 85 here. That's insane. And the rear is well armored too, 50mm here and 75 here. That is insane, and this thing somehow weighs only 41 tons. Yes, I said only for an interwar heavy tank, because in real life this would probably weigh, I don't know, 55 tons or something. And since this is a quite heavy machine, of course it needs quite a lot of horsepower, and it gets those by having 2 engines. No, I didn't figure out how to put 2 engines in a tank, someone else did. I downloaded the blueprint and then built a tank around it. So, each of these engines has 240 horsepower, and together they put out 240 horsepower because one of them does not work. I don't know which one, but one of them is decorative. So, that means this tank has a horsepower to ton ratio of 5.8. That, ladies and gentlemen, is dog shit. But the mobility is somehow acceptable. Like, it can go up to 15 kilometers per hour, I think, probably. You know, now that I think about it, I don't think I have seen it go more than 14. Oh, it goes more than 14. But it's slowing down. I don't think I can reach 15. And the traverse is also quite tragic, as you probably might expect, although it's arguably the second best in this entire video. Yeah, so it's overall basically a mobile bunker. And I can fire all of the guns simultaneously. So yes, that's kinda cool, I guess. And if I want to, I can just switch between them. So yes, that's quite interesting. Now, about the guns, they are absolutely abysmal. They are basically just there for slight infantry support and nothing else. These are quite literally unsuitable for anti-tank purposes. But also, this thing has 4 machine guns, which are heavily inspired by the Maxim. So these also provide quite a bit of anti-infantry performance. And talking about infantry, let's talk about the Jacobs who manned this monstrosity, all 14 of them. Yeah, it's probably not the most comfortable vehicle to be in, but trust me, there's a vehicle in this video with an infinitely more tragic crew layout, so keep watching. Other than that, this thing has leaf springs suspension, so let's take a look at one of them. Ah, magnificent leaf spring, my beloved. Anyway, moving on. The main structure is removable. The engine deck is also modeled separately, and yeah, I guess that's it. That's the tank. I don't know what else to say. So, the next tank in this video... Wait, I forgot to show you the cross-out version of the Cherubim. So here it is, and here is the video it was built in. Anyways, so The next subject in this video is quite special actually, because it was featured in the last ever crossout video I put out on this channel, and actually I don't think I even played a single battle after that upload, so yeah. That's sad actually, now that I think about it. I mean, I had lots of fun in crossout, but I guess I just started not playing it one day, and after that I gradually lost interest, I guess. Yeah, that's quite tragic actually. Anyway, so as I said, this tank was featured in my last crossout video, and it is the AGS 106-7 Executioner. This is technically a multi-purpose vehicle because it is designed to be a tank destroyer, but it can perform as an artillery piece as well. It is named after the gun in game, the 88mm Executioner, and I think I did a pretty good job at adapting it to Sprocket. And actually this is the only tank of mine which has an 88mm gun. None of my other tanks has this caliber, and it has 89mm of penetration, which I mean is quite bad now that I think about it, but you know what, let's say it's adequate at best. Anyway, so you might have noticed this thing on the front. In crossout, these are commonly used structures for the purposes of either flipping over the enemy and then shooting their underside, or alternatively, if you can't flip your enemy over, you damage or even destroy their movement parts by ramming this into them. But it can also be destroyed because of how the game works with constructing your own vehicles from pre-made pieces like Lego. Yeah, that was one of the most fun aspects of crossout. You can build your own machines, and you know what, I think I am quite proud of what I came up with the Executioner build of mine. I think I called it triple or nothing. And you might have noticed the very weird tracks, and yeah, they are quite wide and quite long, leaving quite a narrow hole in between them, and they have quite a weird propulsion system. Basically each wheel is powered, and this central thing pivots like a seesaw, you know, those playground toys kids play with or used to play with, and leaf springs dampen the impact of the pivoting wheels. Basically that's how I would describe it. Is it early war appropriate to have all-wheel drive? Probably not, and this suspension provides this vehicle with a very unpleasant ride. Just look at it. Yeah, and the turn rate is quite atrocious as well. Talking about seesaws, look at how this thing is going. I wouldn't want to be on this thing when it does that. Also, look at Jacob here. He has no real space here. Wait, let me brighten things up. He has no real space here, so he has to basically kneel with one of his legs to even have any sort of comfort whatsoever. And that is quite hilarious. Also, since the commander here is quite far away from the guys in the hull, he has his little communication device with buttons on it, so he can communicate with the crew in the hull. Otherwise, it's basically just a standard tank destroyer of some sort, with a bit of a quirk with it having 3 guns. They can all fire simultaneously or one by one, like so. So, the next vehicle in this video is completely idiotic. Don't expect too much logic from it. Don't theorize about its battle performance, because there is none. And it was featured in a video I don't even remember recording, but apparently it's on my YouTube channel. So yeah. Also, is the most likely vehicle in this video that you have seen, because it's the latest one out of them all. It was, I believe, featured in an English video actually. So yes, say hello to the HGS 100-6 Rapture. Now, this is an HGS 100 tank because it doesn't really fit into any category of my categorization system, so it just gets undesignated. It's just a 100, who knows what it can do. On paper, this is basically an infantry assault tank, so it assaults infantry while being a tank of some sorts. And yeah, this is the original cross-out version of it, and I think I adapted it very well, although again you might have seen this one already. And yeah, the wedge rake thing is present here as well. And fun fact, the specific HGS Rapture vehicle you see right here has been lovingly nicknamed by its crew as a Pain Train, with a little drawing of the vehicle itself. And it's not called Pain Train because it dishes out paint to enemy infantry or it being good at anything really. It got its nickname because of its resemblance to a train. I mean, look at it. And the fact that since it shares the same tracks as the Executioner, you might probably guess what happens when it drives over the smallest of pebbles. Yes, someone gets injured on board. Talking about someone. Look at this crew layout. Here's the driver, that's completely fine. Here are the 4 gunners in a row next to each other, operating 8 37mm guns in a row next to each other, which by the way are the exact same 37mm guns you have seen on the Cherubim. There are 4 loaders, commander and the radio operator, with 800 pieces of ammunition, but if you know game mechanics, you know that a gunner cannot man 2 guns at once. And the loader can't load 2 guns at once either. So, my problem to that solution... What? My solution to that problem is 8 more Jacobs right underneath the 2 engines. Yeah, this crew layout is indescribably retarded. Also, 2 engines, one of them works for the previously explained reasons, and it's a 310 horsepower engine for a 31-ton tank. Which means its mobility, while on paper is pretty good, in practice this thing is dog shit. Probably even the worst vehicle mobility-wise in this entire video. Even though it has the exact same tracks as the Executioner is lighter and also has a single working engine, so yeah, you might imagine how much this thing is capable of struggling. But 8 of these 37mm guns, which in my headcanon fire basically 37mm shotgun shells, just like in Crossout. So that's why this is basically the closest thing I will ever make to an infantry tank. Also, on the other side, you can see kill markers. So I don't know what these stand for. I haven't made up anything yet for these, but you can see all the guns being drawn onto it. So yeah, you know that the Pain Train killed 4 of these stoved guns. So yeah, overall the HGS Rapture is quite shit, really. It only has 50mm frontal armor, which, I mean, for an early war tank, it's quite decent. I have to give credit for that. It's quite decent armor for early war. However, this thing is huge. The sides are 35mm thick. Again, that is pretty then acceptable for an early war tank, so there's no real complaints there, but look at the size of this thing. It's huge. Also, the rear is pretty damn thin as well. I mean, 35mm rear is good, but not really, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it looks interesting. It's a brick. I like bricks. But other than that, there's really no good thing you can say about it, because, I mean, look where the guns are and look where the gunner optics are. In a row above the guns. The 8 37mm guns in one row. Who would even think about such a thing? Well, me obviously. But as for the guns themselves, the traverse angles are pretty good, except for the two on the right and left side, because there's a problem called having a wall here, so they can't traverse all the way 30 degrees to the left or right, depending on which gun I'm talking about, but the central two have the full range of motion, so yeah. They also have exceptional gun elevation angles at 30 degrees and exceptional gun depression angles at negative 15 degrees, although the gunners can't see that far down. Yeah, this thing is not just flowed, it itself is the flow. Alright, this would be the end of the video. I know I have not played a single battle. That's because the 3 crossout tanks are not battle worthy whatsoever, especially this one. And the light tank, the AGS 103-2, well, it's just a light tank with a big gun. You probably know what to expect, to be honest, so yeah. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hit the dislike button. If not, hit the dislike button. If you want to, you can unsubscribe and tell me in the comment which tank was your favorite. So yeah, thanks for paying attention. Bye.